Oh my God. Oh. You know, I don't. This show, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. This has been a very long night, and to be honest, I kind of put some blame on daylight savings when I think about it, just of how long this show was tonight, because it just felt like it went on. It felt like it went on forever. Okay, like it really did. Okay, I feel like I was dragging throughout half the night, wondering if this was ever going to end. Okay, I'm just sitting there looking at this, because first off, I didn't even know the show had already started when I turned it on tonight for Fastlane. Okay, because the minute I turned it on was when the Shane and Miz match was happening, you know, going against the Usos and stuff, because I did not see the pre-show match. Honestly, I thought the pre-show match had started at the time when I turned on my PlayStation to actually see the show. But because of daylight savings and it's being an hour, where are we, an hour ahead? Or I think we're an hour ahead now, an hour back. I could not tell, and I pretty much missed the entire pre-show, which I didn't really need to watch anyways, because there wasn't a lot going on there anyways. And I called my neighbor to remind him about the show, but he was already ahead of me, and he already knew what was going on, because he told me that Rey versus Owens was not going to be on the pre-show, and that was moved into a fatal four-way later tonight, because like I did not really see the whole New Day and Nakamura and Rusev, let alone I did not even know when that match was even made. I think it was at a live event. I couldn't have cared less. I just know the New Day won and beat Rusev, so it's not really much to talk about from that. But just looking at this Fastlane show tonight, this felt very unnecessary, to be honest. I either saw some good matches, or I saw a lot of bad to shit matches, okay, with a lot of botches in it that weren't really necessary, and I just questioned a lot of this show tonight, wondering, was this really needed, especially if we're 4 or 5 weeks away from WrestleMania, and there's only like 2 to 3 matches on the card right now, but we had to build up to Fastlane and to a lot of meaningless shit. Okay, that's what I felt like was going on. Listen, I've watched a lot of wrestling throughout this weekend, okay? I have either seen Impact, or I have either seen the New Japan Cup, which I probably would, I don't even know if I want to go out on a limb and say the New Japan Cup has been better than this. Listen, I'm already pissed about my bracket as it is already right now, so I'm already mad about that, and who I think was going to win. But looking at Fastlane tonight, because I could just skip the whole pre-show thing right now. Okay, listen, New Day won. They beat Nakamura and Rusev. They showed in the replay there wasn't really much to talk about from it. I know Kofi wasn't out there because of the McMahons wanted him in their office or something. So I'm just going to, kind of skip over that. But, first off, welcome to the review. Cleveland, Ohio, Quicken Loans Arena. Master Price say 90 right here. So, yeah, well, welcome to Fastlane, folks. Fast lane, speed bump, long lane. I don't know where you want to call this show, to be honest, but it felt like it was going on forever. I did like the beginning intro package, like the multiple shots, people jumping out of the ring, looked pretty cool. But to get this show, I believe they started off really good right here, to be honest, to actually get the crowd hyped and going, was Shane McMahon and The Miz versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Of course, The Miz is over in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. Him and Shane wore matching gear, which I actually did like this match to kick off this show. And I'm going to get to of course, the post angle. Mostly, I would say the highlight of this match was when Shane and Uso jumped off the top rope at the same time, with him going for the coast to coast and kicking Uso in midair, which was pretty insane. I will say that. I still laugh at Shane McMahon's punches to this day, but this wasn't. I'm not gonna say this was not a bad match, but after the whole coast to coast thing going on, Miz pretty much looked at his dad, and I guess he was going for the, off the top rope and actually did a frog splash, but Jimmy Uso put his knees up, which pretty much rolled the Miz up into the win then. Usos still retain the the tag team championships. Like I said, this was not a bad match. I think it kicked off the show really good. Of course, like I said, for Miz is over, but in my mind, hold on a second. Sorry, I had to take a message there. But like I said, when I kind of saw this match, did I really think Miz and Shane were going to win the titles back? Probably, but then I have to remember every time someone's in their hometown, expect them to lose. So pretty much then after that, as you know, Miz went to hug his dad then and everything. You know, Shane gave him a high five. Next thing you know, Shane McMahon attacked the Miz from behind. He even grabbed his dad at one point and threw him into his chair, and he started punching punching Miz with his, you know, crazy punches that just I kept laughing at for some reason, and even put him into like a submission hold that looked very slow as he told his dad to look at it, as you know, security pretty much had to break Shane off of Miz, which the referees had to help, you know, the Miz to the back as his dad helped him. Listen, let me say this right here, okay? So I guess Shane McMahon is heel now in this. I feel like they got this in reverse, okay? That's my first thought. It's in reverse, because do I really look forward to a face Miz? Not really. And a heel Shane? Nope, not at all, okay? I don't really need to see that. Listen, I've been saying this for a while now that expect a match with these two at WrestleMania, and I said which one is going to turn on who first. Listen, I get it was well done here, especially in Miz's hometown, so of course the Miz was going to get the biggest cheers out of everything because he's from here, and they would boo at Shane, and I get where they were going with, and they did do this right, you know, because it's Miz's town, and, you know, you got to put some heat on Shane, but you know, it's just something odd about this. I've never liked face Miz in the past. I've seen face Miz in the past, and it was not really that good. So I'm not really looking forward to this in general. And a heel Shane McMahon, I guess we can wait till SmackDown to see what happens. But I don't know, man. Something about it is just, yeah, because I will say this, if this was in another city that wasn't Cleveland, to be honest, I feel like they would have cheered Shane. I don't know why. They would have cheered Shane. I haven't really cared about this tag team in general, but I feel like they would have cheered him if this was a different city. But it's Cleveland, Ohio, so it worked here. But not a bad match, though. Throughout the night, you're going to see a lot of Elias talking about Cleveland, talking about the Miz and several other people. It's like he sings and then goes to a commercial break then. So we're going to see Elias throughout the entire night. You have the Corbin Coalition, as I like to call them, acting like the Shield, doing the whole camera thing, saying they're going to take them out, that they're their new force in the WWE. A match that I felt like next was a waste of my time. Asuka versus Mandy Rose for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I did not like this. This match was bad. The crowd did not care. They were flat forward, and this was a very, very odd finish to this. Because, what was it? Of course, DeVille was going to interrupt, but Sonya Deville interrupts, right? And she gets a kendo stick. And, like, the whole apron of the ropes is still up. Asuka throws Mandy into the, going across the ropes, but Rose tripped over something, because I said, what kind of finish was that? She trips, Asuka does like a big roundhouse kick and wins the match from there. And then next thing you know, DeVille's trying to apologize, and Rose didn't want nothing to do, so expect these two to turn. Here we go, that's almost two heel turns with two teams breaking up right there, right now. I did not really care for this match. I felt this was a waste of time for Asuka. I know they gotta build up other women, but I didn't think it made sense last Tuesday on SmackDown when they buried Naomi in 45 seconds on some bullshit. And then Mandy and DeVille got the crap kicked out of them by Asuka last Tuesday. So I just did not care about this match. I'm surprised this match didn't even end sooner. I felt like this was a waste of Asuka's time. Then again, they treat Asuka like a second-rate champion to begin with, okay? What, she's off TV for almost 3-4 weeks after the Royal Rumble, comes back, loses, and then is all of a sudden in this somewhat feud with Mandy Rose. By the way, she was off TV the next week then until she wasn't back on TV until the Go Home show. So I don't know who I don't know if they need to bring somebody from NXT. What other competition do they have on SmackDown they haven't used yet? to put against Asuka, because she needs somebody on her level. But it's kind of hard when you got the two top other women on SmackDown fighting for a Raw Championship. The only person that's really coming to my mind that could put against Asuka is maybe Nikki Cross. If I'm not, did they face the NXT? Then again, I don't know what happened to Nikki Cross nowadays. I forget she was part of that whole second tier call up thing for NXT. That I don't even know where the girl is right now. Okay, I honestly don't. So if anybody knows, please tell me if you know. But this just, I did not care. This match just sucked in general. This wasn't even really that good, and no one didn't really seem to care. They really didn't. So hopefully they find Asuka some better competition after this. But I guess they want to build Mandy, but it just ain't working, man. That was just bad. It just wasn't that good. Okay, so let's see if they can find Asuka somebody, but this was pretty bad. Next thing you know, Kofi Kingston's still waiting out outside the McMahon's office as the rest of the New Day come in. It says, you've been waiting over an hour, since they pretty much go into Vince's office. Vince says, I've been waiting for you. And then Woods and them say, listen, this man's been waiting 11 years, okay? He needs a shot at the WWE Championship. But then Vince pretty much says, triple threat match for the WWE Championship. And Vince, said it'd be a triple threat, but New Day's barred from ringside. And you know what? Your match is right now. And I'm sitting there wondering to myself, first off, the minute they said, wait, Kofi's in the match right now for the WWE Championship in the first hour of the show, that's not the main event? What kind of shit y'all trying to pull right here? Which kind of just delegates the whole story. And Kofi comes out, the fans chant, real big chants for Kofi. But then this is where the catch is. This was not for the title. This was a triple threat match, but a handicap match. Well, not triple threat, a handicap match against the Bar. Did I feel like this was a waste of time in a way? Yeah, the fans started to chant, you suck at the Bar. Even the fans chanted, this is boring at one point if you listen close enough. And the New Day did try to come help, but Nakamura and Rusev attacked from behind, which Sheamus and Cesaro pretty much hit the whole white noise double team move, and pretty much won the match and beat Kofi right there. Listen, okay, at first I said this made no sense. It only makes sense in a way, just so they, I guess, built sympathy for Kofi. I felt like this was kind of dumb and a waste at the same time. But you just kind of tricked Vince, being the master of trolling people nowadays, I see. Hey, let's throw Kofi out there right now to the WWE title match, which was not a WWE title match, but a, not a WWE title match, but let's throw him in a handicap match and stuff, and fuck with the crowd all night. So I guess they want to build sympathy, but was it really needed at the same time? And we're gonna get to the WWE title match later on, but I almost didn't see the point of this. You just kind of trolled people when you think about it. Elias back again, talking about the Miz, talking about Cleveland, LeBron, blah blah blah. Moving on. Triple threat tag match for the Raw tag titles. The Revival versus Gable and Rude versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. What do I have to say about this match? I'm surprised the Revival actually got an entrance right here. I did not hate this match. I just kind of find it odd that, Ricochet and Black are just getting title shots out of nowhere. I didn't hate this match, though. But this is where I just felt like the show just kind of dragged on to me, because I was wondering what hour was I in on this show. This wasn't bad. I would say I kind of expected who was going to win. I didn't really think Black and, Ricochet were going to get the titles anyways. And I felt like Rude or Gable were going to be taking the pin. This was not a bad match. I will say one of the botchiest spots was out there was when Ricochet did a Hurricane Rana on Dawson, coming from the top ropes, kind of trying to pile on everybody, but it looked like they hit the ring side more than they hit everyone. It just kind of looked bad when you go back and look at it. It pretty much ended up with, of course, Ricochet was going to hit the 630, but since Rude threw Black into the apron, to the barricade, Ricochet pretty much runs over and jumps out of the ring onto Rude. Gable's in the ring left with Dawson, I believe, and pretty much Gable tried to get the pin on him, but he got Shattered Machine and won the match. But pretty much after then, everybody started fighting each other. Rude comes in, Black Mass on Bobby Roode, and then Ricochet hit the 630 on Wilder, and they all stood tall. Okay, listen, this was not a bad match in general, even though it just kind of felt out of nowhere anyways. But I didn't really think the Revival were losing. I just feel like those guys are jobber champions at this point because they've had the titles and pretty much gotten their shit kicked in, and they barely even get an entrance on Monday Night Raw, or they're the first ones out there while the champions are first, or they're getting jobbed to everybody. But they're the champions for some reason, folks. They're champions for some reason. I want you to think about that. I don't know what they do with the Revivals, so maybe something will happen because we got to build these guys up towards WrestleMania. That's what I'm gonna assume, but I guess not. But I didn't hate the match, but I think you all knew who was gonna win. Rematch from SmackDown, what we saw the other night: Samoa Joe versus Almas versus R-Truth versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. I like this match. This was just a great match in general, okay? Was it a little bit of the same from what we saw last Tuesday? In a way, yes, it was. I did like the whole, Truth holding Almas up, doing an electric chair, and Rey jumping off the top rope, hitting a Hurricane Rana, which looked cool on Almas. Samoa Joe hitting a suicide dive on everybody on the outside of the ring, just taking them out like insane. Almas doing a corkscrew dive on the outside of the ring to Joe, and then Rey hitting another Hurricane Rod on Almas. Looked cool. Of course, Carmella and Vega went at it, which Andrade and Truth had to break them up. But Joe was about to get the pin on Mysterio after doing a Uranagi. Didn't go out well. They pretty much stopped them from there. Truth doing a double 5-knuckle shuffle. Of course, he's got to imitate Cena for some reason to do that. But Rey was going to go for the 619 in on, hit the 619 on Joe. About to drop the dime. No, he about to hit the West Coast. Well, not West Coast pop, but he almost dropped the dime on him. But Joe got out of the way. After Joe got out of the way, he pretty much put him in the Coquina clutch, which Rey did not tap out, but the ref stopped it. So Joe retained the championship. Did I really think anybody was going to lose the title? Not really. Great match in general, even though it was mostly a little bit the same thing we saw on SmackDown the other night. But hey, I still enjoyed the match. It was still great. It was over. Where are we at here? 10 minutes. Well, I gotta call you back, okay? I'm on the other line. I'll call you right back. Sorry about that. But yes, like I said, listen, like I said, great match. Mostly the same thing from Tuesday. Listen, it's better than putting both Rey and Almas on the pre-show. At least it was better than that, because I don't know why they were on the pre-show to begin with, but Joe still holds the title. He just won it. I never really thought Samoa Joe was ever going to lose the championship in general. So there you go. Next thing you know, for the hold up. Sorry about that. Next thing you know, what is next after the Fatal 4-Way? Oh, yes, another kind of bad match, if you ask me, tonight, which I can't really blame. Well, we know who the two people we're going to blame, but Sasha and Bayley. Why are the champions coming out first? I got no clue. Versus the blob, or the botches, or whatever you want to call them, Nia Jax and Tamina. This was a rough match to watch, okay? There was botches, and I don't know who we can put blame on more. Do we put it on Tamina, or do we put it on Nia Jax? Listen, both of them are equally bad, okay? Of course, you saw the whole, I don't know if Tamina was going for a back body drop or a pop-up or something, and then I guess Nia Jax was supposed to catch her into a Samoan drop on Sasha, which looked very, very bad. Even when, Bayley and Sasha did that double team move, and I guess Tamina and Nia Jax supposed to catch Sasha, which you could see they barely held her up. Okay, they barely got her up, but somehow they did it, and Bayley did a suicide dive after that. This like I said, there's more botches in this match I wish I could name, and I know they botched it. So, like I said, for both of these guys, both of them are garbage, but somehow we keep pushing these two, especially Nia Jax. Why do we keep pushing this woman for? I have no clue at this point. Hey, you know why? Samoan, that's why. The Rock, that's why. Roman, that's why. There's many things, the reason why they keep pushing them. But Sasha and Bayley did retain, pretty much in a Hurricane Run on Nia Jax to get the pin. But Nia Jax and Tamina attacked Sasha and Bayley out pretty much right after, throwing them across the announce tables. Beth Phoenix was on commentary, which she got in Tamina's face then. But Nia Jax attacked her from behind. They started beating up Beth Phoenix. And then next thing you know, Natalya tried to come out for the save. But pretty much Natalya got beat up also. And pretty much, I guess they wanted to make Nia Jax and Tamina look strong. Why? I don't know. After they just botched the living crap out of that match, I have no idea why they were even not the main event, but why they had to get some type of heat to make themselves, look good. Listen, all I can say is this. I don't know if it's going to happen at Fastlane or, Fastlane or not Fastlane, but WrestleMania. Was it going to be Beth Phoenix's in-ring return with Natalya? What was their team name back then? Because I remember they were a team back then on SmackDown. I don't know if it was somebody called them Divas of Doom or Pin Up Strong or whatever it was. I don't know. Okay, I honestly don't know where this was trying to go. Okay, I don't know, and I'm really trying to think this through, because all I can really think in my mind right now: triple threat tag, WrestleMania, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, Sasha and Bayley, Nia Jax and Tamina. I know people will want to take Nia Jax and Tamina out of it, but this company wants to put them in there. Oh, this match was probably one of the worst matches of the night, though. This match still sucked. Okay, it was pretty bad. And not really saying that because that was because of all the botches I could count to what I saw throughout the entire match. So it really did kind of suck. Okay, it really did. So I didn't even know why was the point of this. Like I said, this show just kind of started to drag on to me for a very, very long time throughout the entire night that I was wondering if I'd ever get out of this alive. But pretty much then, right after that, the WWE title on the line. It's not the main event, though. The WWE Championship, once again, not the main event. And you know why? It's like I thought about this earlier in the night, and all I can think who was going to be the main event was this. It was either going to be The Shield, or it was going to be Robot Charlotte versus Peg Leg Becky out there, okay? That's the really ones I kind of saw main event. Why are they more important than the WWE title? I got no freaking clue, but they want to make it more important than the WWE Championship, okay? But it was time for Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens, but this was still a triple threat match. What do? Bring Mustafa Ali back, which was a very bad idea. Why would you bring him in here? Listen, I know Mustafa Ali just came back, but this was not good, especially if the fans chanted Kofi or we want Kofi throughout the match. Now, listen here, the match wasn't bad, though. Let me put that out. This was actually a really great match, okay? I just think Mustafa Ali was in a bad spot right here, and it just felt random. I know he was hurt and everything, and I know everybody kind of said that the spot Kofi has right now was meant for Ali, but when he got hurt, he was gone for a minute. But now looking at it, how they done this just felt random, just to put him in the title match in general, when people want to see Kofi throughout that. Overall, this was not a bad match, though, okay? There was some insane spots out there that looked really cool. Come on, him doing a 450 on Bryan to the apron, that looked deadly, okay? Kevin Owens hitting a big dive on Raw to the outside of the ring. Freaking crazy. Hold on a second. But I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I did like that spot. Holy crap, there was just a lot going on in this match. Come on, Bryan trying to. I know I'm gonna get to the last part of that match, but of course, Kevin Owens trying to do the whole Stone Cold Stunner thing. I did like the pop-up powerbomb on Daniel Bryan as he tried to go for a running knee, which almost pretty much had a good near fall out onto it. Trying to see what else from this match. It was to a point where Bryan and Ali were on the top of the ropes. I think Ali did a flip onto the floor. Then Bryan tried to hit the running knee, but Ali got out of it then, and he kind of came back to the top rope a little and hit a tornado DDT running off of it on the side of the ring onto him, which looked pretty cool. Owens then power bombed Ali into the apron then, kind of a pop-up then, and he put Ali back in. Rowan came in through, Ali. No, he threw Owens over the barricade. His fans, they still chanted for Kofi out. There was a lot of Kofi chants, okay? Kofi was super over right here. And, Bryan pretty much, I thought he was about to get the win right here, but he didn't. And then he told Ali and kept slapping him, "You don't deserve this." Ali came back, and this was probably the coolest thing I saw throughout this entire match was when Ali pretty much went off the second rope. I guess he was going to go for like a flip from it, but as he turned around, Bryan caught him with a running knee midair and won the match, okay? But this is the thing that didn't make sense to me. Okay, yes, were they protecting Kevin Owens? Yeah, because he just kind of came back and just kind of got a title shot. But at the same time, what was the point of putting Ali in the match too when he just came back just to have him take the pin and lose right here? We could have ended this maybe in a DQ probably and had just have Rowan involved. Listen, because right now, I was already thinking this before. Don't be surprised if it's going to be a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship, okay? Because right now, I'm probably going to see Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali versus Kevin Owens for the title. That's what I'm thinking right now. But since these guys lost and Ali took the pin right here, does he deserve another WWE title shot? Not really. He lost right here. Owens, he never took the pin, so he could still be in this and that. But in a way, you have 3 faces now against 1 heel, and Kevin Owens could turn heel at the drop of a dime, or we could get a one-on-one with Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan at this point. I don't know, but Ali just felt like he was in the wrong spot right here. I know the guy just came back, but it just was odd when the crowd wanted Kofi Kingston throughout the entire match. So it just kind of, the whole story is just kind of a little bit all over the place when you just kind of think about it. But overall, this was still a great match though, okay? It's just the fans wanted Kofi. This was great. It just didn't make sense to why would we still keep this a triple threat just to put Mustafa Ali in. Like I said, you could just end this a DQ and have Rowan get involved and Daniel Bryan still retains the title. But I don't know if people want to see a lot of DQ finishes because we're getting into a DQ finish right now. A match that I really think, why was this over the WWE title? I have no idea why, but what did I call them earlier? Robot Charlotte and Peg Leg Becky out there? Yes, Becky versus Charlotte. Probably this was not really that good of a match, okay? Of course, and I really thought this in my mind of how this was going to go. And this is pretty much what happened. Charlotte, of course, being cocky, dominating throughout the entire match, because why would it be this hard for Charlotte when Becky got the crap kicked out of her on Monday and a little bit on SmackDown also? That I'm sick of that crutch thing. I'm sick of this crutch gimmick, okay? This whole injury angle, I'm kind of sick of it. I didn't really think it was needed. And now her arm is hurt, and her leg is hurt, and her knee is hurt. How many things is, injuries is Becky going to go and coming into Mania? And Charlotte's just dominating the match and dominating. And in my mind, it's like this. Charlotte's going to dominate the match. Becky will have some come back and win with a few moves. But what do I really see from this? What? Ronda Rousey comes up since everyone wants to kill kayfabe or not kayfabe or work people in the shoots or shoot work promos, something Vince Russo would probably do. Yes, comes out, punches Becky, and now it's a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Now, even somebody, my friend pointed this out to me. Why would Becky be happy with this? Because she was pretty much cool with it. Like, hey, I'm going to WrestleMania. There you go, triple threat. I didn't even have to beat Charlotte. I won by DQ, so she didn't really have no problem with it, okay? Which Ronda has now stacked the odds against herself now because now you have to deal with 2 people now in a match. But this match was never really that good. And the DQ thing just felt weak. It was just really, really weak. Someone told me it was going to be a DQ, but was this match really even necessary in general to even happen to begin with? This is probably the weakest match out of both of these two. And we've seen Charlotte and Becky put on some barn burners before and kick the living crap out of each other. That's been great. But this one was just weak and just have Becky hobble around trying to punch or do whatever she could to Charlotte. Charlotte was just overconfident throughout the entire match. And just having Ronda just come out here and do one punch, just, I don't know, a waste of time. And Becky's not even really mad about it. She's like, hey, still going to WrestleMania. I'm cool with that. I don't got to do nothing. I'm going to Mania either way. So I'm going to WrestleMania. But Just wondering. I kept wondering what was the point of this then. Why? I didn't understand this. We all knew it'd be a triple threat, but still, I felt like there was really no point in this match in general. I'm glad this was not the main event, which I didn't want the next thing to be the main event too, but either way, I didn't want any of these two being the main event of this show. Elias comes back for like the final time of the night and talked about how Becky's 15 minutes are up and talk about Cleveland and the Shield. Of course, Grandpa Simpson, Lacey Evans comes out, walks up, walks back. Who gives a crap? Randy Orton out of nowhere, RKO, which had a very big pop, by the way. Probably one of the biggest pops out of the show was Orton doing the RKO. AJ Styles then hit a forearm on Orton, which I guess they said earlier that AJ was going to get his payback on Orton one way or get him somehow. And I'm sure it's going to be a match at WrestleMania between these two, which sounds really great in general. So that should be a great match. But, I kept sitting there. What was the point of this segment? Like, okay, Grandpa Simpson, Lacey Evans coming out. Then we do random RKOs for some reason by Orton. Like I said, biggest pop of the night probably. And that was it. But in the main event, the Shield versus the Corbin Coalition there. McIntyre, Lashley, and Corbin. And I know people are saying right there, why was this the main event? Because it's Roman. That's why it's the main event. With Roman being back, hey, it's Roman Reigns over everybody for this company. And we're going back to what we were before the guy had gotten sick and everything again. So Roman is back, of course, in the main event. Would I have put the title in the main event? Yeah. Did I even expect this match to be in the main event? Not really, but since they've been hyping it up all night, it's the final time of the Shield. Of course, this was probably going to be the main event. It was one thing that interested me, though, when the Shield came out. Notice about this match that they were really mentioning Ambrose's contract of, Dean Ambrose's contract is up, so he will be leaving after WrestleMania. Kind of odd how they have addressed this. So I think this can pretty much tell now this is a work, and I don't really think Ambrose is leaving. Because at first I was starting to believe he most likely is leaving, but when how WWE worded it, when they said Dean Ambrose's contract is up, and we wish him the best and everything, not it's kind of really nice for a future endeavor type of thing. But how the way they worded it, and now since they actually addressed it tonight, that kind of tells me Dean Ambrose is most likely still going to be here after WrestleMania. Now that I'm thinking about it. As for the match itself with the Shield and the Corbin Coalition, I didn't even like this match in the first half of it because I was just ready for this show to end, okay? I wanted this show to end. I felt like I was sitting here for almost 6 hours now, okay? And I got to when the show actually started from the main thing, not the pre-show. Listen, I will say this, Roman still look good out there, so Roman can still go. Like, nothing didn't really look different, I should say. The chaos didn't really kind of happen until kind of, I think when Roman got tagged in, that's when the chaos started happening. Then they start fighting outside of the ring. And, Rollins and Ambrose were pretty much battling Lashley and McIntyre through the crowd. Of course, Rollins did like a big dive from off the top of somewhere, taking out everybody. Reigns and Corbin were still going at it then. As, he's trying to hit a Superman punch on him. And I think, Corbin got the deep six, but Ambrose and Rollins pretty much broke it up then. No, after he got the end of days on Reigns, that's when it was broken up. Corbin then pretty much, put the Spanish announce table out. I guess they were going to put a power bomb on Reigns through the table, but then next thing you know, because, McIntyre tried to imitate Reigns, but then after that, Ambrose and Rollins came in for the attack. They started beating the crap out of everybody. Reigns hit a Superman punch on McIntyre, a curb stomp on Lashley through the table. Reigns speared Corbin. They then pretty much, start beating the hell out of everybody. They hit a power bomb on McIntyre through the table. The fans chanted one more time, one more time. Corbin was by himself. The Shield pretty much surrounded him. Fans chanted, "This is awesome." This is when the crowd actually started waking up and, do that whole thing, brawl on the outside and everything. That's when the crowd actually started getting more hyped, and that's when things got interesting. But, they chanted, "This is awesome." They beat the hell out of Corbin, super kicks, everything, into a dirty deed, Superman punch, and next thing you know, and I actually love this from Seth Rollins. I thought this was great because the dude was super hyped, because everybody was saying, one last time, as Cole put it, and Rollins says, "One last motherfucking time," and it sounded great, okay? It really did sound that great when he said it. They hit the Shield power bomb on him, and send the crowd home happy, won the match. Did this need to be the main event? Not really. I know they said it's the final time. I don't really believe this will be the final time with the Shield unless Dean Ambrose is actually on his way out the door. Then this probably was the final time of the Shield. But the way they worded it and keep saying it all every 10, 15 seconds and stuff, even throughout the night, there's no more rematch clauses every 10, 15 seconds. It tells me that they're probably going to be back again one way or another. Where does this go from here? I have no idea. Will they probably wrestle the Corbin Coalition because they like to do rematches on Monday Night Raw? Most likely, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened tomorrow. But this match really got better to the second half of it. Did this match need to be the main event? Not really, okay? It really didn't, because now there's a lot of questions coming out of this, okay? Now, was this a decent show? Yeah, to an extent, this was a decent show. But now, what was the point of this show? Was this really needed? Because did this really move the needle on anything or hyped anything more up to WrestleMania than other than the same 2-3 matches that are already being hyped up for WrestleMania? You see, this was No Way Out back then. Somebody told me this the other day. If this was No Way Out, that's when it meant something before WrestleMania being the last pay-per-view before it. But I felt like they just had to have another show. You think Elimination Chamber could have been the last show. But when you're building another pay-per-view and needing like 3-4 weeks to WrestleMania and stuff, why are we doing another pay-per-view here? Okay, what is the point of this? Because expecting the next 2 weeks, we got to start putting most likely a lot of multi-man matches together at WrestleMania, because you know how long that show is going to be there, folks. So it's going to be super long. It's going to be super longer than this one, okay? You think this is long because of daylight savings? You wait till WrestleMania till you're sitting there 6, 7, 8 hours watching this show, okay? I thought the Rumble was long. Wait till we get to here, okay? You guys just wait on that. But this was just a decent show. Where's the Shield go on here? I got no idea. Other than Seth Rollins fighting Brock for the title, if that's the main event at WrestleMania, I don't know where Reigns and Ambrose go on. I have no idea. But overall, this, like I said before, this was a decent show. The worst things I probably saw throughout the night was the women's tag match, most likely due to Nia Jax and Tamina being the botch fesses. Asuka versus Mandy Rose was not good, folks, okay? It wasn't. And Charlotte and Becky somewhat kind of felt a little bit weak in a way, and the DQ finish was not really that well also. Something I will say in that, like Ali being in the triple threat match. Listen, the match was really great. It's just that he was in a bad position to be out there, okay? He really was. It just did not need to happen. Shane McMahon being heel, don't know how I feel about all the way, and same here with The Miz being face. I'm still not really sold on how that's going to go, but you know that's going to be a match at WrestleMania, so watch out for that. The handicap match with the handicap match. Damn it. The handicap match with Kofi in the bar. Whatever, I guess. I didn't know. It's just, I don't know. Kofi was over tonight. I can say that too. But, you know, overall, this show just either felt decent or it just felt like a waste of time. Would I say it was almost like Raw tonight? Maybe. Because coming into this show, I just did not really kind of care coming into this show. Like I said, I could watch the New Japan Cup right now, and that was way better than what I've been seeing on with this tonight. But like I said, the only really good things to great, I would say the positives of this show, was the WWE title match great? Yeah, it really was great. Should have been the main event. Shield versus Corbin Coalition, no. In the second half, it got better. I will say that. But overall, I didn't think it needed to be the main event. Shane and Miz versus Usos was pretty good too. You know, going off the match here, not a bad match, especially to kick off the show and have a hot crowd out there. So I will give credit to that. I did like the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title, even though it was kind of mostly the same thing from SmackDown the other night. It was still a great match. I will say that. But overall, this show I felt like was a waste of everybody's time. I really do. Okay. And it just felt long. I just felt daylight savings just made it longer. I don't know why. It just made it feel super long. But that's my review of SmackDown tonight here, folks. Not SmackDown, I mean Fastlane or Speed Bump or whatever you want to call it. Hey, you can make up any other name if you want to, okay? But I'm gonna roll from here. I need to go check out The Walking Dead and take care of a whole bunch of other business. So comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about Fastlane tonight. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you even waste your time watching the show? Or did you like anything from this show? And how does this culminate more into WrestleMania? But I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.